Man, you're everywhere, and I love seeing it, and I know that you are a busy, busy beaver today, and I thank you for spending some time with us. So let's get to it. Talk to me about what happened last night, and I know you were on the fence for a good portion of the evening, and then you eventually saw fit to vote in favor of this budget deal. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it was there's a lot of misconceptions, and actually the left is I know it's hard for you to believe, and I know my buddy Bobby Petray is hard for her to believe as well. I'm saying that very facetiously, that the left has been putting out a lot of false information. It doesn't reduce Medicaid or Medicare. If anything, it's just going to cut the waste, abuse, and fraud out of those things. And the delivery systems on a lot of these things are so antiquated, and you've got people that don't exist receiving benefits, and there's fraud and abuse in every form of government and at the federal level. So those parts are addressed, and they're just trying to scare people, and that's wrong. But the actual bill is just a framework that allows us to further President Trump's agenda. There's a reduction in the bureaucracy, and that always troubles the left because that's their base of support a lot of times. And it actually reduces taxes on some things, allows that to happen within the framework. But we eventually will have to pass the bills that fill it. But all this is just a framework. So if you can keep all that in the whole scheme of things of where it's at, and it had the border protection in there, securing our border. You just go down the list. It actually reduced spending by a couple of, I think around $200 billion, which is about 2%, which to me is not enough, but it's, how many times you're going to say you're going to reduce spending. So we got a lot of work to do. I had a lengthy conversation with President Trump about it, with the speaker. As a matter of fact, I just kept talking to him on the speaker's phone. I was walking on the House floor, and I finally had to tell the president I had to get off the phone since I was on the House floor. We're not supposed to be on there with a cell phone. I thought it was kind of funny. I about gotten called down for that while I was talking to the president, but it's a crazy world we live in.
I like the idea of Speaker Mike Johnson looking at you and saying, Congressman Burchett, who in the world could you possibly be on the phone with? Is that important? That's the president.
Yeah, well, he's the one who handed me the phone. So it was actually his phone. We were talking in his office to him, and he had him on speaker, and then they said, we got to go vote. And so as soon as he walks out the door, he gets jumped by the media. And, as the 435th most powerful member of Congress, the media usually, I'm scratched to them. So, it was pretty interesting, but, we reduced regulations, we cut taxes, and we closed the border. So I think that's a good start.
The question is, and I know this is somewhat out of your control, but what will it look like once it gets to Senate reconciliation? Talk to the people in Tennessee about what that process is like so that they can better understand it, Tim.
Well, it's the classic sausage factory. You don't know what goes into it, but you like the end result, and that's exactly what's going on with this. It's just a lot of things a lot of moving parts, but the different committees will handle the areas of jurisdiction, and they will vote on the appropriate things. And this allowed for those, and it set the parameters of what they could spend. Now, where they're getting the cuts on Medicaid or Medicare is the department that's under. That it's a big department, a lot of things that go into it. There was a reduction for that department, and they have to find those. And the way they're going to do it is through DOGE. I mean, it's just they're going to find the waste, abuse, and fraud, and that everybody knows it's in there. We've heard multiple times, the people that don't show up for work are getting a paycheck. Well, there's people in there, and we think money could be going overseas, and it could be going to terrorists. And so we. Even in some instances, I know it sounds crazy, but after you dig into it a while, you find out that a lot of this money gets diverted to these funds, and we'll be having hearings on that and exposing that, and hopefully we'll be codifying some of the things DOGE has done, and that through executive order, because if we could, because anything done by executive order or stroke of the pen can be undone at the stroke of a pen.
Right.
So that's what I'm hoping to, and we're doing that. And my friend Marjorie Taylor Greene and I have talked about that multiple times, and how our biggest fear is not going to be the Democrats. I mean, some of those cats are openly Marxist. My worries are going to be from the Republicans that lose their guts.
Why?
They don't have the sense to do it.
Kind of a two-pronged question. I know you've only got about a minute left. I promise to get you.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I'm walking. Actually, I'm walking. I'm going to go do some TV, and I'm walking to it right now.
Okay. Oh well, you just tell me when you need to go. So, what about that? What could not lead Thomas Massey to the well? I know you're friends with Thomas.
Yeah, we talked. He wanted more cuts. That's all. And and he's principled. He told them where his line was, and they didn't get to it. And I just said, and a lot of the things that I had were a commitment from President Trump. In the past, he's never lied to me. It's funny, when we got on the phone, he said, "Tim, I love Tennessee." And I said, "I know, Mr. Trump. I know, Mr. President." And it's funny because he leads with that, because he really does love Tennessee. He loves the freedom aspect of our state, and our low tax and our business-like principles that run our state. And so that kind of led off on our conversation. But Thomas, he told him he wasn't for it, and he just wasn't for it. And he doesn't vote for much of anything. So he's a very libertarian-minded, and I am too. But I have a saying that I used to have in the legislature: either at the table or on the menu. And I needed to be at the table on this, because I wanted to make sure that I could get that commitment from President Trump and our leadership that, in fact, we are going to reduce the size of government. And as I stated to him, my biggest fear was all these cuts that we make we'll turn around and just give those to the Pentagon. And I call those folks war pimps, because that's what they are. And they will spend every dollar. We in the past, we've been making arms systems that were mothballed the day they were produced. And I sit in the meetings, and these are Republicans talking now, that will say, the leadership on these committees, they'll say, "Hey, this jet's made in your district. The guns are made in your district," and just go down the line. And they have no convictions whatsoever. All they are looking at is jobs in their district, even though they're primarily worthless jobs, because what they produce is not even used. So we need to get past that, and I think our economy is moving in the right direction. I met with a company today from Canada that's moving to Tennessee, and these tariffs are really having that effect.
So just a bullet point a few things. The tax cuts are real in this legislation.
They are real. They are completely real. And Trump's tax cuts, of course, what he wants are permanent. And right. I told the president that I told the president that I was concerned about those, and there's going to be there'll be a procedure to put them permanent. That wasn't the mechanism to do it.
Hey, who gets the Tim? Who gets the honor on television right now? Who's getting the honor?
I don't. Who am I on TV with, dude? News Nation.
Oh, News Nation. So, tell the guys over there.
Yeah, they're very kind folks.
No, they're good people. Much better than that. I watched you arguing with I think Tapper the other day on CNN. It was a lot of fun.
Jake Tapper. Yeah, it was funny at the end. They always think I hate them, but I don't hate those folks. I pray for them, actually. When I get finished arguing with them, I did that today with my local television station. I argued with the lady, and at the end, and we were very friendly. And I was joking with Tapper about how he would mispronounce my name, and he goes, "Oh, I've been saying it the wrong way for 7 years." And I said, "Yeah, I guess." I said, "But I'm like Tony Dorsett. I said, he won the Heisman, and they changed, and everybody started calling him Dorsett. And I said, I haven't won the Heisman yet." So, and he laughed. So,
after that vote last night, you're getting closer, Tim. Look, I promised I'd get you out of here. I'm getting you out of here. Have fun on News Nation, and we'll talk to you again soon, brother. Take care, man.
Thank you, brother.